By the time World War I erupted in 1914, the naval war was already stacked against the Axis. The oceans were not neutral ground. They were controlled, patrolled by Allied fleets, guarded by distant ports, and locked down by British sea power. Germany knew this. It knew it could not outbuild the Royal Navy. It knew a direct clash would end in catastrophe. And it knew that without access to the seas, no modern war could be won. So instead of fighting for control of the oceans, the Axis chose desperation. This is the story of the Axis navies of World War I, how they fought a war they were never meant to win, how submarines became their greatest weapon, and how the fight at sea helped pull the United States into the conflict. When war began, the Axis powers were boxed in. Germany faced the North Sea, dominated by Britain's Grand Fleet. Austria-Hungary was trapped in the Adriatic. The Ottoman Empire struggled to defend vast coastlines with limited resources. Unlike the Allies, the Axis lacked a global network of naval bases. They had fewer ports, fewer allies at sea, and far fewer supply routes. From the very beginning, the naval war was unequal. At the center of the Axis effort stood Germany's High Seas Fleet. Before the war, Germany had poured enormous resources into building a modern navy. Dreadnought battleships, fast battlecruisers, and highly trained crews made the High Seas Fleet one of the most powerful forces afloat. But power on paper was not enough. Britain's Royal Navy was larger, more experienced, and positioned to blockade Germany at will. Any attempt to force a decisive battle risked the destruction of Germany's entire fleet. So Germany waited. Most of the High Seas Fleet remained in port, venturing out only for limited raids and probing attacks. The goal was not victory, but survival. That tension finally exploded in 1916 at the Battle of Jutland. Jutland was the largest naval battle of World War I. German ships fought with precision and discipline. British losses were heavier. But when the smoke cleared, the outcome was unmistakable. Britain still controlled the seas. The blockade remained intact. Inside Germany, the blockade's effects were devastating. By 1918, food shortages were widespread. Malnutrition weakened factory workers and soldiers alike. Civil unrest grew. Morale collapsed. The naval war was no longer happening at sea alone. It was being felt in kitchens, factories, and city streets. Without breaking the blockade, Germany could not continue the war. And there was no way to break it. And Germany's surface fleet returned to port, never again to seriously challenge Allied dominance. The lesson was brutal. Battleships would not break the blockade. Surface fleets would not win the war. Germany needed another way. That way was the submarine. German U-boats were small, silent, and terrifyingly effective. They did not need to defeat enemy warships. They only needed to sink merchant vessels. Their mission was simple: starve Britain into submission. At first, Germany limited submarine attacks to avoid provoking neutral nations. But as the blockade tightened and food shortages worsened, restraint disappeared. In 1917, Germany declared unrestricted submarine warfare. Any ship, military or civilian, near Allied waters could be sunk without warning. The results were immediate and devastating. British shipping losses soared. Food supplies dwindled. For a moment, it seemed Britain might collapse. But Germany's gamble came at a cost. American ships were sunk. American civilians were killed. Public outrage in the United States exploded. When combined with diplomatic scandals and growing pressure at home, Germany's naval strategy pushed the United States toward war. In April 1917, America entered World War I. The very weapon Germany relied on to survive at sea helped ensure its defeat. Germany's allies could offer little relief. Austria-Hungary's navy was largely trapped in the Adriatic, unable to break out. The Ottoman navy struggled with outdated ships and limited industrial support. Neither could challenge Allied dominance beyond regional waters. The Axis naval war remained fragmented, defensive, and desperate. By the war's end, the lesson was clear. The Axis navies fought with courage and innovation, but they were fighting against geography, numbers, and global power they could not overcome. The seas belonged to the Allies. And the Axis, boxed in and starved, would never recover. The Axis navies did not fail because they lacked courage or innovation. They failed because naval power is not just about ships, it is about geography, logistics, and global reach. The Allies controlled the oceans before the war began. The Axis never truly stood a chance. In the next video, we'll take a closer look at how submarine warfare changed the future of combat, and why the lessons of World War I still shape naval strategy today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned for what comes next.